So, hello and welcome to the Beats, Rhymes and Life podcast. I am Gabrielle.
I'm Ash.
The one and only Riz.
Oh, we're used to a fourth person.
Oh yeah, we got no tracks today.
Thoughts with Shakira. She couldn't make it today, but yeah, she's here in spirit.
Oh, it's going to be weird.
Yeah, we're going to miss
it. It's going to be a quiet podcast.
Yeah, we're going to miss the cackling.
Ash, stop it. Leave her alone, please.
I know shouty Shakira is going to be missed today, but yeah, how's everyone this week?
All good, man. I'm
good.
I'm happy. How are you, Mr. B-Day Week?
Mr. 3-0.
Yeah, if anyone wasn't aware, I crossed the final frontier. Yeah, I turned 30 on Thursday, guys, so yeah, I haven't kind of fully got my head around it, but it was nice spending it with like my loved ones.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, being 30 is like kind of cool, man. Like I can actually confidently say like I'm a grown up now.
Nah, I have heart palpitations when I think about it.
It took me a while because for the last
30's the last step.
For the last 6 months, yeah, I've been kind of back and forth over like, am I where I need to be in life? Have I made the right amount of progress?
Yeah.
But I'll look at it like this. In terms of my 20s, the first 5 years of my 20s was an absolute car crash. In terms of like nothing went to plan. Which sometimes it kind of builds character in a sense, isn't it?
Of course it builds character. It's like taking the scenic route to anywhere you're going to go, whether it's career-wise or just life goals.
I like
That's the way I see it.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of I think I'm feeling that still.
Yeah.
I mean, and the worst thing is, I know people will listen outside this and be like, no, that's just an excuse.
No,
I don't think it is. I think it's genuine. Like life doesn't go the same way for everyone.
So you know, you have the traditional like go to uni, like get a job, and things kind of fall into place around that. But for me, it wasn't necessarily that route.
I think we've been sold a dream. I thought we were sold a dream when we were in, let's say,
Mr. Ellis.
When we were around 16.
Sold man a dream, bro.
They were just like, they told us life was going to be a certain way, and it's just not the way they said it would be. And we've just learned the hard way, really, which is fine. Like you said, it's the scenic route. It builds character. We're like Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah, you're just reaching that final.
We're just getting there. When we get into our 30s, we'll be approaching. Did it go up to 4? Super Saiyan 4?
Super Saiyan. You're the Dragon Ball Z expert, Ash. And I remember 4 being.
And now they got Super Saiyan God.
Okay, so
there's another one.
Look, we got time. Okay, we're Super Saiyans right now.
Like trunks when
are you 30, Ash?
5th of December.
This year? Yeah. Bloody hell.
I'll be using
about to say a real blood clot.
I'm 30 next year, so I'll be joining you guys soon.
Yeah, I didn't have anything planned, so maybe Ash can kind of show me a bit of direction when his one comes around. If he's even in the country, I know you might snake the whole thing and just
my birthday. Yeah, I'm not going to be in the country.
Yeah. I thought as much.
Oh, nice. Good for you. Good for you. Where you guys going?
Don't know yet. There's a lot of options.
Barbados. It will be really nice.
Dubai was actually on there as well.
Dubai would be good.
It's nice that time.
Good setting for your 30th, I would say.
But I don't know. We'll sort it out. I'm under pressure to sort it. Where are we going? When are we going? When are we booking? It's just cool.
I'm not gonna lie. I might not be here for your birthday either.
Oh shit.
Sorry.
He won't be.
No, just for the date. No, I'll be here for your birthday, but I might be flying out the day after.
Stunt life, yeah.
No, I'm just no. You know when you're saying the actual date, I know December. I'm not really organised like that, but December the 5th is like, the day before I'm meant to be flying.
Alright, well that was a good catch up, guys.
Yeah.
We get rolling on something now.
What do you want to talk about first? Let me just talk about Rem, and then you could talk about Rhapsody.
Cool.
So I was listening to Fat Joe's been releasing some really good tunes recently. I've been loving them. I don't know about you lot.
This for me.
Yeah, that So Excited single, if you take Dre off the chorus, it's a banger.
Yeah.
He absolutely ruins that chorus with his Drake impression.
I like that.
But I like this. I still
Wait,
like the
so
song.
who is the singer though?
Do you remember shit, what was the Cool and Dre that used to produce all the Fat Joe
Yeah.
50, all of them. That's Dre of Cool and Dre that does the chorus.
He sounds like a young Negro.
He's
coming out as an artist now, isn't it?
Well, okay.
He used to fornicate with Christina Milian, for those that pay attention. They were an item for a while.
I know, it was just what he said. He used to fornicate.
There's a song with, I think it's, I'm not too sure if it is actually So Excited or if it's...
Yeah, I think he's got another one, but So Excited.
The one with, what's his name? Dollar Sign on the actual track. Anyway, so I'm listening to the track and then Remy comes in.
Oh, Money Showers, I think.
It might be Money Showers.
Money Showers, yeah.
And I'm like, when you're just not even really paying attention to the song, and then sometimes the song comes in and out of what you're doing whilst you're doing something else, and I'm like, hold on a second, that was shit, Remy.
Do you know what the funniest thing about that? Yeah,
excuse my language.
That's my favourite song off the Plomo album.
Yeah, easily. I don't even like that album. It's got a few good tracks.
I didn't even know there was an album till I just looked just now.
Oh no, I've had it for a while.
Money Showers.
Do you know what it is? Like, I know what you wanna say.
Let's say what you want.
If you like, I know we've kind of put Remy in the position of, obviously she's kind of like emerged as the number one woman in hip hop of late, but I just don't think that she's displayed it musically. I think the popularity is more based on her story rather than her musical output at the moment. My
whole thing is when back in the day when we were all leaning back, she was
I'm here for Remy.
The one,
Remy
right?
was hard back then.
So
like, even her solo album had some decent stuff. Like,
and
she was good.
We all anticipated her release from jail, and we were so excited, and we were feeling nostalgic and whatnot. So, do you think that we've kind of overhyped her release and she's kind of fallen below
100%.
a standard? Because I feel like, obviously, I had this conversation with someone the other day about it's like adapt or die. Like, you've got to change with the world because the world's always changing. And I feel like she hasn't changed. Like, she needs work on her flow. Her flow's absolutely abhorrent, and I can't deal with it.
Personally, I think she has changed, but she's changed for the worse because her flow wasn't so bad. Her flow was tight before she went to prison, and then after, like, she's just all over it. Like, she's like she can't find the beat. I wonder what Fat Joe sees in the studio.
It's true. It's like she can't find the beat.
It's like she's trying to catch up with it.
It's like,
for someone like of obviously Fat Joe's experience in terms of executive producing other people's music,
because he's got a great ear.
I find it very difficult to believe he feels that. Like, you see him in interviews, he's fully gassed off Remy. I struggle.
But do you think he's done it out of loyalty though?
But they've had their differences as well. So I don't know. Maybe he's seen it as an opportunity to like make a last bit of coin out of the whole Terror Squad. Yeah,
because everyone likes that. But I just literally, I'm like, did she rap this while she was in jail, and now they're just adding the vocals to the track? Like, there was no beat for her to ride on, and now she's just been.
Do you know what it is? It sounds like she hasn't, like, in terms of, when you've got a bag of material, in terms of, people always say that going to jail is not really a good place to rap. Yeah. But it sounds like she's not really wrote in the traditional format in terms of making music, in terms of it sounds like she's not going to the studio prepared. Either she's not prepared, like, in terms of she hasn't wrote to the particular song.
Nah, she's just got bars, and then she's just coming and just going, okay, here's the track,
bars.
Here's another one, here's another one, here's another.
Yeah,
it just sounds like she's just knocking them all out.
And what adds more insult to injury is that your husband is Papoose.
I think that is another interesting.
Your whole husband is Papoose.
No, in terms of, again, Papoose is another one of those rappers who he can bar you to death.
Definitely.
Yeah, but as an artist,
it's not really interesting.
He can definitely rap. But
back in the day, he had some really good tracks. Don't ask me to name any because I can't. But as far as I'm concerned, he had content. He was a lyricist.
Had a hype about 8 or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That lasted for about 2 years when he was the
Averett's
first
jacket wearing era.
With the Street Sweepers.
With him and K-Slay.
Yeah. And then he just disappears.
Yeah.
Until his album finally came out after he'd been shelved for 7 years.
That era of Saigon, Papoose. Who else?
Who else was there
in that?
Charles Hamilton.
I'm talking before that raw mixtape.
Yeah.
Stack bundles.
Yeah.
Gravy.
Gravy, Graph was on the mixtape.
You lot lost me now.
Do you know what? There's a whole batch of rappers from that point. Like,
do you remember that freestyle where they had
Shells,
had Poster Boy, Shells, J Mills, Papoose? It was like a 20-minute freestyle on K-Slay, and they all went back to back.
I didn't hear that.
Sick. LimeWire days, man.
But basically what I'm trying to say is that you could have taken some LimeWire. I had LimeWire and loads of viruses on my flipping computer.
I killed my auntie's computer with LimeWire. Mine was safe, I just killed hers. I was acting like I didn't know what I was doing.
I think that you could have taken some inspiration, or your husband can be... I'll be very upset to know that like he might be ghostwriting for her, and if he is,
he definitely ghostwriting for her. That sheet for this had Papoose written all over it.
But it was still shit. I'm sorry, I'm so upset.
Like she was reading it off her phone.
Yes, and it's like my mum. She sounds like my mum rapping. Rap, That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, Remy, come on, man. Come back with that heat, because I'm not gonna lie. No matter how much of a novelty Nicki's been in her career, she's always come with the best, to be honest. And
one last point on Remy is that exactly what you said about the hype and like her previous reputation keeping her through. When she dissed Nicki, when she performed Shifa recently at Summer Jam or whatever it was, the fact that she had all these old school females of hip hop coming out and supporting, I'm like, but this is whack. Even if you agree with her and you don't like Nicki, this is whack. Shit. She needs to like step it up. But that brings me on to another point anyway, because I think Remy's like passed off as the number one female because of popularity, but also there's not much competition, and the only other person right now that's up there and has been up there for a while is just never rated. Someone called Rhapsody. So Rhapsody is from North Carolina, from Ninth Wonder's crew, Jamla, and they've been going for like about 9 or 10 years, constantly putting out mixtapes. Same people that did all the Little Brother stuff. It's the remnants of that crew, and they've got new artists over the years and stuff. And she signed a joint deal with Rock Nation about a year and a half ago. So now her album just dropped yesterday, full of features, productions, crazy, and it's actually getting the promotion it deserves. Bear in mind, this is someone I've listened to for 8-9 years solidly, every mixtape, feature, etc. Now all of a sudden she's on the Breakfast Club.
I don't see anything.
Interviews. It's all happened this week because of the release date.
Okay.
If you didn't pay attention to that, you wouldn't have seen it. But as soon as she's got signed, and now there's some money behind her because it's a partnership deal. It's not like she's just on Rock Nation. But
let me find it on Spotify while you're speaking.
And it's kind of dope. Beats wise, it wasn't what I expected from her previous stuff. But it's the same crew. Ninth Wonder's done the majority. Knots has got a couple tracks.
It's called Layla's Wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eric G's got a couple. Like, it's a good mix. It's like, you know when you can tell someone's been signed. So it's not a commercial attempt, but there's some stuff.
The arrangement and the beat selection and things like that.
Was there a Bodak Yellow on there still?
No, there was no Bodak Yellow.
I saw one of her. Didn't she perform recently at like a summer, summer jam or something, or a Hot 90
America festival?
Yeah.
There we go. Something like that.
A couple others, but again, she's been grafting all these years. Like, it's never come out. But she dropped, and she's dope. She's always been dope. I think it's just about the kind of promotion you get, and there's been a lot of stuff, a lot of articles. Everybody on like Hot 97, Power 105, etc. A lot of other producers, and she's managed by Young Guru from Rock Nation, previously of Rockefeller. So it comes from good stock. But they're putting her up there as like the next star.
To be honest with you, I feel like, in terms of the female rapper debate or conversation, a lot of it always boils down to like, I have an issue with female rappers in general in terms of like over the years, like other than Lauryn Hill and maybe like a lot earlier in terms of we're going back to the late 80s, early 90s, Queen Latifah's, like during the era that we grew up in, it was always it was always more of an over sexualization of women in terms of Foxy and Little Kim brought raw sex appeal in terms of that was part of the package. And
Charlie Baltimore.
I felt a kind of way about it, so it was hard for me to kind of like always had an affinity for Foxy as a rapper.
Yeah.
Like she's definitely got a lot of raw ability. Whether or not she raps for herself or not is another
I think
debate.
we've had this conversation when you were like you didn't like the sexualization of
I've
it.
never really liked
But for me, it's about that was about kind of kicking those doors down and being free to be as nasty and as freaky as you wanted to be
Kim
as
had
a woman.
Scratch and sniff poster.
Oh wow! I did not know that.
Yeah,
that is sick. Cardi B should do something like that. But I think the sexualization of them as rappers was good for them. I like that. I like that they were just free to do what they wanted.
Do you know what it is? I think what they did back then is more accepted now, because there's a lot more in terms of feminism's much more real, and owning their sexuality and things like that. But back then it was just like raw.
Yeah, it was very like, in terms of, remember, you're looking at it from a sense where like the 90s wasn't really like sex wasn't as prevalent.
No.
In terms of like, it wasn't as in your face. Whereas now you go on Instagram.
I'm sorry, did you not hear T-shirt and my panties on? Or R. Kelly, R. Kelly
like,
track?
That's R&B.
That's R&B.
Yeah, but it was still raw. Like, I was listening to one of our podcasts about R&B. I was listening to the R&B podcast the other day just because someone said they really liked our podcast, and I was like, really? How? Why? And I was anyway. Anyway, so I listened to that one and I really loved it. Anyway, besides the point, like R&B, like we said before, was so cheesy. Nasty. It was nasty back then. And I feel like the women in rap kind of took that, as well as trying to be as raw and uncut as the male rappers, and kind of put that together.
Can I put one fundamental difference between the R&B content? I'm never going to disagree with you in terms of R&B is about having sex in a number of like different ways, and how you want to lay your woman down, and all of these types of things, which I'm all here for. However, it wasn't until Foxy and Little Kim that we actually got visual. A lot of the R&B songs were sung.
What do you mean, like what they're wearing and their
like, in terms of stuff? Like, I remember the Little Kim album cover where she's like literally spread
with her crotch open.
Yeah, hardcore, I think.
Yeah, like for me, as much as I
don't put that on Twitter, by the way.
As much as I was aware of the essence of R&B was about, I never actually had like, there was never an R&B video where I can think it was just raunchy as fuck, where you got multiple Little Kim videos that were only available after 11 o'clock. So I remember the what was it, the one where she's on the conveyor belt and she's kind of like, how many licks?
Yeah,
that was only available.
The song in itself, like
it was only available after hours. Like you couldn't go on regular MTV and see that video. So it's like, for me, that's where I make the distinction between the two. And obviously now it's more acceptable. You go on Instagram, it's like count the amount of items of clothing that. So,
but you'd say they kind of pioneered that freedom of being over sexualized, but they were still like them. I'm doing
that's another one of my issues in terms of
well, it's a weird one for me, because it's like that's the reason why they get ratings as much as they do, because like with
Foxy
Junior
Brown
Mafia came out like when they came out, and then you've got Little Kim coming out around a bunch, all of these big 6 foot dudes.
They were just as raw and uncut as their peers.
Reckless.
They were raw. They were as raw and uncut as their peers. Then you had Kia. Remember Kia and Trina coming out from the south.
That's another thing that
I don't count those kind of.
Do you know what it is?
They were net. I feel like they were nastier.
Obviously, they were, because like I was on Twitter the other day and there was like a video of like an Uncle Luke party or something like that. And obviously you see Trina, like, but are really young before she was popping, Trina, because you know she was a stripper.
You know she was a stripper.
You know she was a stripper.
Granddad, because you know she was a stripper, right?
Yeah, but it's like, obviously the Miami hip hop scene was a lot more go-go dancer type vibe.
That whole 2 Live Crew stuff, that was real explicit.
Oh my! So like, really, they started it. 2 Live Crew were nasty.
Yeah.
I see that Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll.
Who else? Bay Area had some real interesting. What's his name? Sir Mix-a-Lot, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, obviously he's known for the big butts.
My baby.
But he had another one called My Anaconda.
Oh, God.
Him and Akinelli,
Yeah.
I like big butts and I can't out loud.
Akinelli's from Queens.
Yeah.
Do you know what I like about that whole thing? Is that they had, and it kind of reflects of like what's going on today about just like, yeah. Anyway, they had women in there. They were just like, "Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt."
Yeah, like the most. In terms of like, you couldn't have like in terms of how you would expect a bimbo to sound.
No, it's hilarious. Like they started off a lot of things that we kind of use in this day and age, like language and terminology and
Becky
nastiness. But yeah,
it's mad how the Becky thing came back up
in it.
Like crazy.
Since we're on female rappers, how do you guys feel about Cardi's ascension?
I'm going to be.
I just want her to win.
She's whack. She's
100%.
She's absolutely terrible.
100%.
And it jars me that there's other rappers out there that can genuinely rap that have been around and are getting nowhere near the level of success she
Wait,
yeah,
but
that's true.
You say she's whack, yeah? Like, obviously, we grew up in an era where we have that core golden. Is she any worse? Like, in terms of the comparison between...
Name me a female rapper worse than Cardi B.
No, I'm not... Well, let's get there.
Chanel West Coast.
You see the difference between...
She doesn't even count.
You see Foxy Brown, The difference between Foxy Brown and Cardi B is as big of a drop as you would have between a Lil Uzi Vert and a Jay-Z.
Probably not.
So I understand what Ash is saying, because she's shit.
She's terrible, but
she's not as bad as some of the rappers that we are.
No.
What I love about her is her come up and how raw and real she's been from the beginning.
As a
and
character,
so
I like Cardi B.
I'm here for her come up. Yeah,
she's fucking.
And I'm not gonna lie, when Bodak Yellow comes on, I get into the twerking position.
Do you know what it is? I haven't actually heard the full song. I know it's been out for a while, yeah. But I couldn't say I've listened to Bodak Yellow from the beginning to the end.
Boy, you used to be in my car.
It came on in the... Like, I was out last night. It came on and it's like, I'm used to only hearing up to a certain bit. And it's like, when it went for the full length, I was like kind of lost.
When I think of Cardi B, all I think about is one thing.
Laugh when
This
Cardi
bit.
B pulled her little sister to the side on the beach. Listen, sister, listen, mommy already proud of me. Mommy think you a loser. I love you. Hey, I need you to prove mommy wrong. Mommy proud of me. The whole family proud of me. I want to help you because nobody proud of you.
That's all I think of.
I can't remember that.
Do you know when... you don't watch Love and Hip Hop, innit?
No, I don't wait.
She's got a little sister that obviously makes cameos on the show.
Oh, yeah.
But the sister's name's Hennessy, innit? So there's a scene, where obviously, like, Cardi...
They're on the beach.
Yeah, she's like, I just want to make mommy proud. Like, I've already, like, basically, Cardi, like, kind of looks after her whole family, innit? So they're just having this wild Spanish interaction. But it's mad because the accents are so thick. I just want to make mommy proud of me. Why don't you want to make mommy proud of you too?
Bitch.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, I just want her to win. I like her. She's for the people.
I'm 50-50 with it because, like I said, it jars me so much that there's so much sadness.
No, yeah, I agree.
For someone like Cardi to win, but at the same time, she's taken advantage of a gap in the market. She went viral. She's got an opportunity. Yeah, she's terrible, but as you said, she's probably not as terrible as some of the other rappers.
She's about to go number one.
Yeah. Fair play to her, isn't it? She's about to go number one off of a remix.
Or Kodak.
And Kodak did another remix with a new flow.
No, I'm proper gunning for her. I hope she does well, man.
But yeah, the musician, the purist in me says fuck Cardi, but then the social side and like carrots wise, I'm like, go on, win, innit? Yeah.
So you don't personally dislike her? Elocution lessons. But she's doing well though. Yeah. I feel like her interviews are getting better and better.
She's definitely getting media training now. Yeah. But she's still just hilarious because she's so
too
raw.
funny. Too funny. And that's why I want her to
me
win.
Forever.
I like when she's like, you know I'm Shane, you know I'm Shane. You get a bit of, you know what I'm Shane. It's so funny. She did a new interview with Charlemagne the other day. Who, by the way, do you know what? I actually love Charlemagne.
Who doesn't?
I really do. I remember there was a point where I used to think this guy is a dickhead. Yeah. Like, remember back in the day when he used to be a proper asshole to everyone he came across, which is good. That was his brand.
Yeah, it was a viral thing.
The more I listen to Brilliant Idiots, the more I love that guy, man. He's like an uncle. Sorry to go off on a tangent, but I do.
I agree with
and I listen to what he says about having your hands in so many different pots. Like, stop focusing on one thing. Just like, if you can, do as many things as you can at once and stuff. But he's also another one who's a big fan of Cardi B, and he's here for her come up and everything. And he's a big supporter of her.
One thing I like about him, he champions people.
Like,
even way before
the underdogs.
He talks about them.
Yeah. And he's always trying to bring someone else up as well. So yeah, love that guy, man. And yeah, in her latest interview with him, you could tell she speaks differently. She's a bit more humble as well, but she's still funny, man. She's hilarious. Love that girl.
Put a price on like being able to entertain.
No.
Yeah.
One note back on Charlemagne. A perfect example for me is him bringing Taxstone through.
Oh yeah.
Taxstone, who's gone now, and we ain't gonna hear from him for a long time.
Damn shame.
But Taxstone, I love Taxstone. He's a bully, but I find him hilarious. Like, for a good 2 years, he was out here doing stuff. Like,
yeah. Beloved.
Beloved. Oh god. And remember that whole podcast of Joe.
Yeah.
Bro,
that was awkward to listen to. You know when you can't
dancing, answer the question.
And because he's Joe's an antagonizer, you know.
Yeah,
of course he is.
He is an antagonizer, and I was getting as angry as Tax, even though I know how Joe is. Like I kind of love Joe as much as I love Charlemagne, but
angry because he was asking him a dumb question. And
that's fair.
The response was completely unnecessary, but he was like, so when's your album at? And it's like, well, you're interviewing me. You know the album's out. Why are you asking me when it's out? And
yeah, but why you gotta be sassy? Why you gotta be all sassy?
Sassy.
Nah, don't be sassy.
Don't be sassy.
Don't be sassy. Just, you know what I mean?
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I can't lie. Yeah, there's a thin line between obviously, like, you know when someone asks you a stupid question and it's like, I really should just bitch slap you, innit? But I'm not gonna bitch slap you, but I'm gonna verbally bitch slap you.
I think a kiss is more, innit? Every kiss rap similar to a bitch slap.
Oh god.
But yeah, also on the agenda for today, we've kind of danced around this topic quite a lot.
No, wait, because I want to still stay on the topic of artists. Are you gonna go on to side chick life?
No, who's gone? Run with.
Before we talk about Kev Hart, and before we talk about them other bitches, excuse me, I've been swearing a lot today.
It's fine.
I've had coffee this morning, so I'm speaking at 1,000 miles per minute, if that's even a metric. No. But anyway, I wanted to talk about Jay-Z.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Kind of turning down the Super Bowl.
Well, remember, it's allegedly, because this hasn't been confirmed from anyone.
But it makes sense because he supports Colin and what Colin's been doing.
Colin Kaepernick, but if anyone doesn't know.
Who is used to be an NFL, but he's also now an activist and stands up for Black Lives Matter and
wait.
rights.
I want to know, like, in terms of, before we even get into the Jay-Z part, like, him obviously taking a stance, does that give him activist status?
I don't think him taking a stance gives him activist status, but the stuff he's been doing since he's been blackballed gives him activist status.
Okay. Who? Colin?
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And the amount he's given to charity to Somalia, that
I'm not gonna lie, he's donating left, right, and centre. If I was him, I wouldn't be doing that much.
He's done a lot. He's done a lot. I'm sorry, but so wait, Beyonce and Jay-Z like gave him millions to Black Lives Matter. So are they activists too?
Philanthropists is what they would class it as. Tax write-offs.
Yeah.
You think it's that?
Yeah.
But with Colin, it's not just the donating; it's events.
He does rallies. A lot of speaking.
Yeah, he does mentoring and stuff.
Yeah.
He's actually fully out there. Now.
So, just in case it wasn't clear enough, the story is that Jay-Z is allegedly refusing to perform at the halftime show at the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And we are kind of speculating that it's because of his support for Colin Kaepernick. And yeah, I guess my question is like, do you think it's that, or oh god,
super nigga?
Wow.
Just put a cape on him, innit?
I think that's an oxymoron if you ask me. But.
What's it? Yeah, this whole thing. The Super Bowl was saying are absolutely refusing to admit that they asked him in the first place.
Do you know what
Nobody's ever asked Jay, blah, 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 blah. It's all come from an unconfirmed source. But knowing how Jay carries himself in general, and then also in regards to this topic, I 100% believe it. Because at this point, Jay doing 444 as well, he's never going to lose his appeal. He continually does festivals, live shows, huge stages around the world every single year. Jay wouldn't be out of place at this point in his career doing a halftime show at Super Bowl. No. He could easily do it. Easily. So I don't see why not. To be honest, I don't think there's anyone else really at this point that should be doing it.
From a hip hop perspective. Yeah, in terms of the only thing I look at it is that could we be missing, like, culturally, an opportunity in terms of, like, I understand the stance in terms of supporting Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, but
however,
I'm Jay on that stage.
That's 100 million people tune into the Super Bowl.
Also, if you think about what he's going to be performing,
also as another way of getting
if he performs
formation,
yeah. But in terms of if you perform the story of OJ, if you go on the halftime Super Bowl show,
it's like
the story of OJ, that's getting your message to the people that it actually needs to reach.
This exactly. So it's like catch-22. If he's saying no for a good reason, but he could say yes for a good reason too. So it's like,
it depends on what you want to take out of it. Because also, as much
unless they're like they mute him and say you can't perform it. I don't think they would.
Point where he could.
Jay-Z can't be muted.
No, he can't.
His song would get bleeped a few times, definitely, if it's still
the N-word. Okay, but sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think they could. You can't stop Hove.
No, Hove will find some new inventive way to get the instruments realigned.
Have a hacked stream to the whole world.
No.
You was going to say something, Gabby.
So that just, because I just said the N-word, it led me on to something I haven't been on. Have you noticed?
Piers Morgan.
Yeah. I haven't been on Twitter all week. I deleted the app.
Me either. Like, in terms of...
I'm doing a social cleanse.
That's conducive.
I know. I'm doing a social cleanse.
How's that going?
I guess you are on the rotor for Twitter, though, so I don't need to be. Oh. Until we post this, I can go back on. Anyway.
Just so you're gonna like shit.
Don't worry. I've got it all thought out. Piers and the N-word.
Can someone inform me exactly what happened with this?
So there were some girls, as far as I'm aware, there were some girls at university who were singing
Gold
Digger by Kanye West. And you know how the uncut version goes. I ain't saying he a pro N-word, but she ain't
fucking with a bro.
Right. I ain't saying she's a bro
bitch.
You know what I mean. Anyway. So it came to obviously, as Twitter does, it caught a little bit of a
traction.
Yeah, and kind of exploded, and there was calls for having them like disciplined, basically, and whatnot. And then Piers, like, you know, I saw a tweet and it said that Piers is a black Twitter troll. He likes to troll black Twitter. He loves it, and I agree. I'm like, yeah, he does.
He loves to troll everyone. Sorry for my language, but Piers Morgan.
But there's no one that is in his status that likes to troll us as much as he does. If that
apart from
makes
Bill
sense.
O'Reilly.
No, but in this country,
consistently, like, you know, when obviously behavioural like is isolated, I just see generally Piers Morgan is a bit of a, like, as we would like describe, a facio,
as we would so eloquently put.
So, like, I don't think it's necessarily a black or white. I don't think it's a race although it is based around the whole use of the N-word,
it's not a race conversation.
I don't think it's a race. I just think Piers Morgan is just generally a prick.
So his question is it why can't these little girls sing this song with the N-word? And he actually said, like, he wrote it.
He didn't. Why can't they say niggas?
Yeah, I'm really trying not to say it myself. But, don't
worry, I'll say it for you on purpose.
That was his question, and everyone was like, duh, basically. Yeah. But he, in his mind, which to be honest, in to some degree, I'm like, when something becomes popular culture, sometimes you can't blame these little children for saying the N-word or singing it, because it's in the music.
No, I completely get it. So it's like, for example, at certain concerts, I think Kendrick did it before, and I think Kanye said it before at a show, and there was like, yeah, everybody can, like, while you're at my show and my songs are on, I feel like it's a Kanye thing, not a Kendrick.
Everyone gets a pass.
There was a report, and it was basically like,
it would definitely be a Kanye thing, wouldn't it?
For it, basically, so everyone can say it.
Yeah.
So when something like that happens, I get it, but also you need to have common sense. Like, I don't understand the obsession with wanting to say the word.
Yeah, why do you want to say it? Why do you want
to say it?
But if you're singing, it's easy to just be able to say it.
But the thing is, it is easy to say it if you're listening to that music, and that's but
don't fight for it. Why are you fighting for it?
Don't fight for it. And two, don't film yourself saying it.
Yeah, it's true. No, you're right. You're right.
Like, I feel like, as obviously being a young black male, like, I didn't experience active racism until I was like 16. Like, you know, that rule, like, you go to Loughton to play football on a Sunday and there's pure racism on the side.
Why are they like that?
Monkey chants and all. My team was majority like, we had a white manager, but he obviously had faith in
I think anyone who's played football has experienced some level of racism.
Yeah, and we had like monkey chants. Like, we ended up rocking it out with them because it got to a point where it's like, fuck football, innit? Like, you lot just being mad disrespectful. So we ended up scrapping with the team, and the match got abandoned or whatever. But my thing is, like, living, breathing prejudice, I won't even say racism, like, in everyday life, like, being called, or like, there's things far more, I wouldn't say important, because that's where it stems from. I guess that's the root of the behaviour in terms of like prejudice and stuff. There's way more things that we as a black community should concentrate on, like, alleviating before we get onto people for saying the word. Before we get onto people saying the word, like, if a white person was to call me nigger, like, I've got to a point where I'm mature enough, like, that's your level of.
I think you'd be like that GIF, the Blink ones.
No, it would, like, it would be like water off a duck's back for me at this point, because it's like, all right, cool, if that's how you feel, I wouldn't, like, at work, like, an Asian guy, like, he thought he was down, so I don't know how.
Please elaborate here. I can already see the
conversation, like, nothing to do with work. We was just having a general conversation, and like, he just put my nigger into the conversation.
But why? This is what. Why?
To me, like, it's like, all right, I heard you. I'm just not gonna dwell on it, because obviously, like, you clearly have a lack of education at some point.
But
like, what makes you feel it's okay to say that? Cool.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna, like, you know what it is? I'm past the point of, like, and maybe this is just me being like dismissive of the issue on the whole, but I don't really care. Like if someone wants to call me a nigger, that's your bad, innit? Like, I've got bigger fish to fry in a sense. And I go out every day, like, I have to face the world being a black person. Yeah. Like, you calling me nigger's not changing. Yeah. It's not changing my how I deal with the world, innit? So it's like, do we focus on battling these little squabbles on Twitter and who's allowed to say it? No, like, we got a constant. Like, there was a podcast that I listened to. Well, I listened to Blacklisted, and they had, was it Blacklisted? No, it's Off the Cuff. There's two podcasts I listened to in regards to this, obviously, black employment, and obviously making sure it was Off the Cuff that had
the access.
The access guy. Those are the issues that we need to be talking about in these types of forums, like making sure that minorities are getting equal opportunities within the job.
The problem is, it's too easy to talk about all the negative stuff and moan about stuff, and bring
hence why I'm not on Twitter,
as opposed to the productive issues.
Yeah, I'm just not here. Like, I'd prefer that we concentrate on the bigger.
No, 100%, and I don't think anyone should ever say the word at all. no matter what race you are.
So
don't
even when I say the word nigger, it offends you?
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like hearing it. It makes me cringe. Because don't get me wrong, I've said it. But I hate having.
For me, it's a term of endearment. Like it's like.
But see, I just don't. I don't think we should use it at all. I think that's a really poor excuse now.
How do you feel about it in music?
But see, this is what I'm saying. I'm completely torn.
I'll
but do you know what? Because I still don't like it as a blanket, as a whole. But it's like in music, I'm gonna sound real.
Music gets a pass.
You see, when you hear music, right? It's like, okay, what other word you gonna put there now instead of that? And then it just doesn't sink in. But sometimes, but you know what? The only time it really hurts me is that if I'm listening to on my phone and my mum walks past and then the person's just saying N-word bitch, N-word bitch, N-word bitch, and I'm like, oh my god, this sounds so bad. I avoid
using the word bitch more than I do nigger.
Yeah,
nigger.
Do you know, but I find bitch is more an American thing though, because when you listen to a lot of American shows,
like bitch,
like not even that way, but it's like when guys are like, yeah, well, bitches be like,
yeah. But no, women themselves, they're like, bitch, let me tell you what happened to me today.
Yeah. There's that one video of like, there's like 10 different connotations of the word bitch.
Yeah.
No, but like for me, amongst like my peers, like it's just like become like a way of like.
Do you know what it is? Every circle has their own approach to it, but I think something that it not even made it more acceptable, but it kind of threw it in a lot more for people in the UK was the boondocks, like, because it was so commonly used in that.
Yeah,
and it was hilarious in the way that they were using it. So a lot of the times those kind of conversations would come out, or the jokes would come out of it. So that when Riley was always like, "Nigga, you get,"
nigga, you get,
all of that kind of stuff. But I still think it's more US than UK in general. Yeah. But it's still the same thing, I guess.
And I'm sorry, but it is a tired subject to talk about it all the time, because it's always a topic of conversation. And I hope one day like everyone just comes to a resolution to abolish it, like we abolish. Well, no, there's still modern day slavery, but I'm going down a different route now. So what's the next?
We wanted to touch on Kevin Hart.
Kev Hart.
You guys are gonna
learn today.
For me, yeah, that niggas is gonna cheat, innit?
Have you seen Travis's Black Men Don't Cheat conference thing? Yeah. Oh my god!
This guy comes up and he goes,
Travis J, right?
I don't even know his name. But he's like,
Travis J.
Black men do not cheat, and I'm gonna prove it to you. So he's got a whiteboard, and he draws a pie chart, and he goes, 50% of cheaters are white.
Let me see.
25% something else.
Wait.
And then like 25% are Asian. He goes, therefore, scientifically, black men do not cheat.
Yeah. This whole thing, I have to send you the link.
Organization BMDC, Black Men Don't Cheat. We are completely against the narrative, which has been so falsely
He's so
portrayed in the media.
There's a few of them.
I have to show it to you later. Watch it later, but it's too funny, man.
My thing is, like as a celebrity, I just think we need to get to a point where like I said it on a previous episode, how microscope their lives are. I just think there should be a common like understanding if you're in that community that you just should be single and just live your life. Okay,
so either be single or be married. Yes, you're right. Don't cheat. That's just the moral of the story.
No,
do
but
not
there
cheat.
also is like
I feel like there's more.
There's more to there's like instance. That was just one part of my view in terms of like women who date celebrities need to understand like what celebrity lifestyle entails in terms of there's a lot of temptation. There's a lot of temptation, like more than the average dude would get in terms of like women actively trying to throw themselves like at you. Like we're only like
Gabby looks like she's going to bitch. Like
I'm
gonna let you finish.
Give me 3 feet, please. Like, how many times? Like, it's easy to say no, but it's also easy to say yes. And I think women generally don't understand that from a man's perspective. in terms of just as easy as it is to say no, it's just as easy as to let it slide.
Okay, but
I'm getting raised eyes at me from every angle of the room.
You know what? You're just like, I'm not the only woman in the room, by the way, guys. I just want you to know.
I got a raised eye. Ash is looking at me sideways.
No, I'm waiting for the point. That's all.
No, in terms of like, see, like Kevin Hart. Yeah, like let's be honest. He fucked up, innit?
He fucked up big time, especially if that video is him.
However, just as easy was it for him to walk away, it's just as easy was it for him.
My thing is,
but what are you saying? What are you trying to say?
It works both ways in terms of, for every, like, you see this whole men are trash narrative. For every guy that's gonna walk away, there's a man that's just gonna not have that level of self-control. Okay. And as humans, we're flawed fundamentally. So I think being understanding is just the way forward in terms of understanding. Understanding this.
So you and the black men don't cheat crew then?
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that black men are right for cheating. I'm not saying
you're an empathizer.
I'm just saying that we need to come to an impasse where we understand each other a bit
Ash,
better.
please, can you talk? Because I don't want to hear him talk.
The only point that you've made there, which I can't say I agree with it.
You can't agree with it for obvious reasons.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the celebrity thing, because celebrities live in a different world.
Yeah.
Can I just say who else is in the room, please?
No. Okay. Celebrities live in a different world. They have different expectations on them. They've got different levels. They've got PR and things like that. So all of these things where we get all of these scandals and someone did this or someone did that, in the big scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. As a normal person, these celebrities are normal people under it. You're thinking, well, you kind of fucked up, right? Like, you shouldn't have done that. Or why would you do that in this situation? Like, yeah, he fucked up big time. Her birthday weekend, and she's pregnant. Like, he's still walking around.
My thing is,
but it's
can we show a bit of compassion as men? Yes, of course we can. Like, I'm never gonna, like, in terms of you've taken your vows, innit? Like, you're supposed to do the right thing. But like I said, we're flawed by design, innit? Like, no one's perfect.
But
only God can judge me.
He was married before, right?
Now we've reached.
Listen. How old is Kevin Hart? How old is Kevin Hart, please?
He's approaching his 40s.
He has 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
He's been married before.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure he has had a lot of sexual interactions with women before marriage, between his last marriage and his new marriage.
Can I highlight something?
What?
You do realise his current wife, he was cheating on his previous wife?
Yeah. The story is, I do know that.
You knew what you
signed up for.
The story is that you can't expect a man to change how however he found you is how he's going to find his next one, basically.
I don't wholly agree with that narrative.
So I think it's right 80% of the time, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know why I got 80% either. But anyway, my whole thing is, he is a grown ass man, right? So you've experienced. This is how I see it. You've experienced enough women in life to know what's enough, when to leave it alone or when to not leave it alone, right? Fair enough, you're drunk and you kind of he was taken advantage of. This was all planned. This was a big, I think ever since he did that Breakfast Club interview, that someone was like, challenge accepted.
On the Biden podcast was like, these were obviously his peoples. Like, he thought he was cool.
He thought he was cool.
Because the way he talks about before was like, I don't trust people. That's why I don't get in situations.
Exactly.
So something made him feel more comfortable to slip up, I guess.
My thing is that he's not an 18-year-old. He's not a 25-year-old. He has experience in this world, right? As a grown-ass man, you have so much responsibility. You've garnered a lot of responsibility. You have a lot of attention in this world. Like, everyone's eyes are on you. You're famous. You are a wealthy man. There's no room for mistakes. There's no room for it. Your wife is pregnant, about to have a baby. You're married a second time. You've already cheated before.
I think 2 things there. One, mistakes can happen to anybody, anywhere, anytime. Like, shit happens.
There's never a cut-off,
but that's just life. Mistakes can happen. But
I agree with that.
That completely void that are the fact that she's pregnant.
This is what I'm saying. That's what makes it worse. This is why I'm saying that there's no room for mistake.
Yeah, like look, I look at it like this. Yeah, like she's in the final trimester, innit? She's probably being as grouchy as hell. So
nah.
So
I'm
now
not making an excuse.
So wait. So now it's her fault.
Wait, no. I'm just saying. Understanding.
Kira, I wish you were here right now,
understanding
man.
is.
I can't like communicate what I really want to communicate.
That I'm trying to push in terms of the narrative that I want to be taken away from today's episode. From me, I just want us to understand the reasons.
Just understand it.
Let's understand each other a bit better. In terms of, she's probably grouchy as hell. Like, he's probably finding escapism as a way of dealing with, like, obviously the pressure.
So somehow you brought this back to her. It's her fault.
No, it's not her fault.
That's what it sounds like, though.
But
you wouldn't have said that if you didn't think it's something to do with her. Then you wouldn't have said that.
Again, we don't know the dynamics of their relationship.
We really don't. But I'm saying the whole point is. Yes, people are going to make mistakes, but you've got this. It's such a crucial time for you right now. Your wife is she's about to have a baby.
So clearly something is happening.
You're seen in such a positive light right now that, like, you can't afford. This is just, it's made it worse. Do you know what? I think it wouldn't be as bad if this was the beginning of their relationship. They weren't married yet. It's still bad to cheat, but it won't be as bad as it is now.
If you take the pregnancy out of the equation, it's not such a big deal to the world.
Well,
it's not.
The pregnancy element
it's still
for me
bad.
is kind of like,
no, it's bad.
It's just
but
part
in
of
comparison,
the story, bro. Like, it doesn't, like, in terms of
because it makes you seem even double trashier for that. Like,
my thing is,
cheating is cheating regardless.
On her birthday,
cheating is cheating regardless.
It is. But if 21 Savage cheated on Amber Rose, you'd be like,
alright, cool.
No, but I look at it like this. Yeah. For me, a lot of the time, yeah, people assume that the act of making love is like sometimes even the idea of mentally not, like, he could have not done anything in terms of sexually, but the idea of him spending time with other women in that type of environment is just as bad for some people. Like, so for me, there's something obviously at the core of him that is led him to be put into this position of vulnerability. So all I want us,
something has led him. What has led him?
I'm not Kevin Hart. I can't speak.
Less free.
I can't speak for Kevin Hart.
But what has led him? What has led him? I want to know.
Like, maybe he just wanted to cheat
around the studio. And
maybe he just wanted to like, I don't think any man wakes up with the sole intention of, I'm gonna cheat today. I don't think it happens like that.
But something unbeknownst to you led him to do what he didn't take his little ass find this work.
I don't think
go and cheat.
This is where you have white collar crime. Like, you have white collar crime. White men. Wait.
I'm so done.
White men wake up with the intention of
you're not gonna have to turn the volume down.
No, it's the truth. I think white men, that black men get all the negatives. Like, we get all the negative connotations associated with cheating, but ain't no black man buying their side thing, a condo, making sure that their bills are, like, as a black man, it's important. Like,
yes, you are.
No.
Like, maybe in America, do it all the time.
Maybe in America, you know maybe at a certain status.
Your whole stance sounds to me like you're trying to blame everything else but Kevin Hart for cheating.
No, he has to take ultimately. Now he's been
led
found,
him down here.
Now his wife
might be grouchy.
Makes it sound like it's it. Like, just in the suit, it's just like, come on, Kevin.
That tempted, like, we look at the world only exists through one thing. Like, the world as we know it today exists because of temptation. Temptation is the root of all evil.
According to some people, yes.
If obviously you come from a certain religious background, temptation is the reason why the world exists as it does today by some definition. So, like I said, we're fundamentally flawed. Like, temptation is a big thing to resist if your mind's not in the right place.
I just want to say this.
Can we just understand that? Like, as women,
no.
That's all I ask.
No, on a serious note, what I understand is, and I do get, is that everyone makes mistakes, and that's 100%. Like, people are always, no matter what you do in life, entertainer, or if you're just a normal person going 9 to 5 to a job, right? Everyone makes mistakes, but there's a certain time in your life where you just have to be much more cautious. Because my thing is where were all of his... Was he on his own in the video with just these two girls?
Yeah, by the looks of it.
When do you ever know this man not to be with the red cup boys, red plastic... What are they called? It's like Spank and all these other comedians, and his best friend Harry, his bodyguard Wayne. He's with them.
Names, I don't even know.
Clearly, because one time I absolutely loved Kevin Hart, and I used to follow him. He used to have like YouTube videos and stuff with all of them. It's hilarious. They were really funny. But this guy is either with his family or he's with his boys. But obviously, that's only what I see. I can't determine that that's what he's like. What is that every day? But you're in this setting, in this social setting.
There's 24 hours in a day.
You chose not to be with your friends, and you chose to be with these two women.
They're his friends too, I'm sure.
So they say. You chose to be with these two women on your own, and you're married.
Like I said, I don't think...
You know you're married. You know you've got 2 kids, and you know you've got a kid on the way, right? And you chose to put yourself in a situation with 2 single women. Yeah. So whilst you were drunk.
No.
Right?
No.
Whilst you were drunk,
we don't know
all of these male friends.
Some of these statements are implying that you have factual like.
No, I'm just.
Scenario.
My life where I felt target on my back.
You lot make me sick. Anyway, I rest my case, Judge Rinder.
I thought that would shut it down quickly.
I'm done.
That was my plan.
Like this year, like in terms of, I don't think you wake up with the intention of cheating. 1, number 2, like they're clearly someone that he's cut. Like, I don't think he went there with the intentions of cheating. I don't think he did,
but I think he got mashed up and then shit happened.
Yeah, like things happen, innit?
It doesn't strike me as much as he's been an idiot. The way he talks about things and the way he seemingly carried himself previously, he doesn't strike me as the type.
But then he cheated on his wife, though.
But he's done it. So who knows?
He done it
at the end of the day, innit?
And he's probably even cheated on Anika before.
Yeah.
Probably,
but
it's not really the matter at hand.
But my thing is, she's gonna stay, so it doesn't really matter.
She is. She is.
She's gonna stay. So
anyway, he needs. Yeah.
More power to Kevin.
I don't even know what else to say to this. I think I've made my case.
He needs to make better decisions, but obviously at the same time we need to be understanding for the struggle.
I think you've pushed your agenda enough for it.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about from that onto side chick culture, but I don't think I can be bothered because that's a lot.
Since you're bouncing soon, do you want to
talk about my British artist?
Your breakthrough track. What we're gonna do, you guys? We're still gonna do the musical genius thing.
Well, when Shakira's back,
but we're not doing it today. But what we wanted to start doing was kind of like not even breaking artists, but bringing up stuff from up and coming people, so we can actually play their music without our shit getting taken down. So it'll be fine as long as they're not like major. It's cool.
I don't know if they're. I don't know if they're signed to Universal.
If it's the person
you would know.
If it's the person you showed in the group, then I don't think they are major like that.
Oh. But, who do you think I chose? This is interesting.
I'm just going by what you posted in the group.
My friend Martell?
Yeah.
Oh no, but I could. Actually, it's appropriate.
It's appropriate.
I might as well, because I was actually gonna talk about Ray Black and Georgia Smith, because those two, I love them. But I'm sure Ray's definitely signed. I'm just about to say they're probably both signed to Universal or whoever already. I'm sure Twins got them already. But it is actually more appropriate for me to talk about Martell Mckenzie.
Payola. I'm joking.
He is a good friend of mine. Love that guy, proper good. And he's such a good singer. And he kind of infuses his singing with rapping sometimes as well. And he's quite soulful. So if you didn't hear that, his name's Martell Mckenzie. He just released a website. Or just set his website live as well, which me and him were beefing over because my job involves looking at websites. But yeah, it's martellmckenzie.com. Just go and have a look, have a listen. He's just amazing, such a soulful guy, and he's always trying to be different. But shall I play something?
Yeah,
that would be.
What am I gonna play? He's got this song called East Side. Hold on. If I can find it. Sorry, guys. Can someone else talk about theirs before, and then we can play them all like
roll out for mine, so it might take a while.
Go for it.
So the people I want to talk about, they're a duo called Children of Zeus. They're a Manchester-based duo. They both produce rap and one sings. So it's Tyler Daly, formerly known as Hoodman, which some of you might know.
He was on, what's that program?
He
on
was
Channel
on
4?
Dubstep Drama, I think it was called.
Dubplate Drama.
Dubplate Drama, that's it. Yeah, he was on that. He had quite a big single on Channel U called Jermaine, which was about his girl giving head to another dude called Jermaine.
Is this the guy? Is there a guy in it with freckles?
Yeah, that's him. That's Tyler Daly.
I thought he looked familiar.
Yeah. So yeah, formerly known as Hoodman, and then another guy called Connie Con, and they've both been in different crews in Manchester over the years, and they've started working together over the last couple of years, I think. But they've got an EP dropping called The Story So Far, comes out beginning of October. But they are dope. I've actually spoken to them before about trying to get them on the podcast.
Yeah.
But where they're based in Manchester and they come down here for performances at certain times, it's kind of hard to match up calendars, so we'll get it done at some point. But yeah, like proper soulful, like whether it's them actually just sitting there barring out over a flipping church organ sample for 5 minutes, or Tyler's singing his arse off. Like, they've got quite a good chemistry, and everything I've heard from them so far, like I bought the vinyl even though I don't own a record player, just to have it in the collection. But yeah, their stuff is dope. I'll play something from them after.
Okay, so I found my song as well.
I'll run off mine before you play any songs. I kind of find myself on SoundCloud sporadically, like going looking for new talent quite often. But I'm gonna go for someone that I know personally. Shouts to him. I saw him yesterday actually at an event. Well, I'll say event, but we crossed paths. He's from East London, from my hometown of Hackney, Clapton to be more specific. He's been kind of like building his base for a while, so he released a mixtape, I think in 2013-12, called Kareem McLean. And obviously from there, like him and his boys, he's collaborated with quite a few of like the local artists. So I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with SNE. They've worked together. And yeah, his name's Frenzy.
I knew it was going to be Frenzy. I was thinking you this whole build up.
Yeah, Frenzy. Frenzola. Yeah, so I'm gonna play something from him. Like, in terms of like the general consensus of like drill and trap, he's completely different from that in terms of he tries to be a bit more witty and concentrate on word play.
Yeah, definitely.
Also,
he's got a good production.
He's got his production basis.
Sounds, even if it's not something I'm fully feeling beat wise, it sounds good, like sonically it's on point.
And obviously he kind of like tries to dip in the sample bag.
Yeah, definitely.
So like it's a nice vibe generally.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna play this now because
you gotta run.
I gotta run, man. But for some reason this keyboard is doing H instead of M when I'm typing it, which is annoying. So the EP is called Untitled. Guys, why isn't this not working? Why is it not working for me? Should I play it off my phone?
Just play it off your phone if you're stuck.
It's taking a hit. I tried to be all high tech and forward thinking. But this one is called Trap Soul Melody. Oh god.
What do you like? The initial sounds.
Smooth. Can you get some volume?
That's the loudest. That's why I really wanted it over there.
It's alright, it will sound good on the podcast because you're playing it into the mic.
Dirty soda in my styrofoam. Spend a day to get my mind low. Dress it up and go to NASA. Got 200 miles on the dash. Got a roller pan up and then gas it. Switching lanes like I'm Grand Rapids. We the ones that kept it true with all these brothers till these brothers started acting. Now they got me moving like
Go and listen to that for me, please, guys.
It's that little snippet.
It's called Untitled. His EP. He's got loads. He's got about not loads actually. There's about 3 or 4 tracks on it, I think.
EPs usually.
So yeah, please have a listen and let me know what you think. And he's Martell Mckenzie on all of the socials, I think, and SoundCloud. He's got his own SoundCloud. He's been on Link Up TV as well, so there's a couple of videos there. You'll see.
He had a song called East.
Yeah, East Side. He's got a track called East Side, and his website just has everything about him on there. So yeah, love you guys, and I'll speak to you soon.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Peace. The track I'm gonna play is called Still Standing. They've got like a lot of, well, not a lot, I think they've got about 8 or 10 tracks kind of floating around, but this one, Still Standing, they actually dropped it quite a while ago, and then they started picking up traction again. So they re-released it, I think, and then dropped it as an actual single. But this is a proper laid back soul vibe. Let's see if this works.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mother told me to keep on. I know God has a plan for you. Mother told me to be strong, 'cause your strength it will define you. You accept what you deserve. You accept what you deserve. 'Cause you deserve what you accept. She told me, son, don't you forget. 'Cause what you give is what you get. Yeah. This is why I'm still standing. Yeah, 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 yeah. This is why I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's Still Standing, Children of Zeus. That's kind of like the vibe they go with a lot of their stuff. Like Tyler will do more singing or whatever, and then Connie can rap. But there's times that they just bar out. So I'll try and put the link to their stuff on the SoundCloud. Alright, Riz, you're up next.
Oh, let me see. What do I want to play? Something more recent still. I wanted to play something off the Artful Dodger, but I'm gonna give him a young plug.
Big Daddy, kí ló ń ṣe wọ́n náà? Mi ò mọ̀ fún wọn. Àbúrò frenzy mi, ó fẹ́ kọrin fún wọn. Wọ́n fẹ́ gbọ́. Bí ọmọ dáadáa. Wọ́n kàn dodge art bọ̀bọ̀ yìí náà. Wọ́n mess art yẹn, dodging the art. Big Daddy sọ fún wọn, man. Mo sọ̀rọ̀ sí wọn. You ungrateful people, listening to me loud and clear. My friend Frenzy is making a lot of music for you guys. And you're messing up. And you're messing up. Continuing to mess up. Do you want him to retire? Is that the joke? Is that the stunt you guys are putting? To them? Because it's off. You have been pumped. Stop dodging the art. Dodging it. You got a big belly, girl, and it's my car. You could have had any girl. So why you lying to me? And don't try it, homie. And you old school like the Jerry Curls. I swear you ain't fucking with no broke nigga. Cause if he gonna do, he's gonna hold nigga. And after these girls, yeah, they some gold diggers. And if she's digging gold, then I don't dig her. You see, my city love me, but my city judge me. I bring my city with me, singing like I'm pretty Ricky. But I'm the Artful Dodger, cause I'm the art they dodging. Gave them loving, but they threw it in my face for nothing. Like Artful Dodger, I'm on mischief. I'ma make history right now, just kiss teeth. Cleopatra, know we coming at ya. A bad bee and she better than Thatcher. It's that cocaine.
Yeah, that was something of a mixtape that he had called Artful Dodger. It's called Dear Diary, so go check that out. I know he's got a few bits recently that I've obviously dropped on YouTube, Grime Daily and stuff, so make sure you go give him a quick listen. That's generally the vibe that he goes for as well, so I hope you guys enjoy. that kind of wraps up today. I think Ash wanted to play something else.
Yeah, I was going to play one more just to make use of the time quickly. As you see, Gabby's gone, Shakira wasn't here, so today's a bit of an odd one. It's a short show for us, really.
Far too many tears, still I maintain the hustle. Through all the pain and struggles, I smile at the rain and bubbles. Beyond the cloud, the sun will shine and take away my troubles. Another day, a waste to make the most of. I spend it with my daughter, we ride the roller coaster. It's either family or I'm not performing them studio sessions to the early morning. I really put my all in. I had a brighter vision, was like a higher mission. I walk through fire in a quiet wisdom. I understand the business. I stood and witnessed backstabbing, oriental whispers. The facts always end up twisted. It's a cold world. Trust me, I came close. Signing slave deals, so now we're all in the same boat. Just trying to stay real. And for this music I would die for. Maybe I'm high or I'm in too deep. Mackay 5-4. Sometimes more the things you reap will be reflected in the things you speak. The company you keep. My boy ain't gonna see the road until it's 60. I've lost so many family members, still I know they're with me as we walk along this road.
Yeah, this song, of course, as soon as I heard it.
Deny my history, still I know you miss me. I risk it, I never imitate, I innovate. Add a little flavor to.
Yeah, but that's Crown from Children of Zeus. So it shows you the other type of vibe they can come on. But yeah, that's us for today, I think.
Make sure we have got our YouTube channel up, which we're obviously going to be uploading the full length episodes on from now on. We've got episode 10 and a few snippets of the episode with Falls from Off the Cuff, so go check that out. That's at Beats, Rhymes and Life Podcast on YouTube, so the channel's there. We'll post links in the description to the episode. Again, thank you to our videographer, Miss Kimberly.
Again, shout it out on the Insta.
Yeah, that will be in the Insta link as well. So if you have any needs for photography, more specifically, make sure
nice plug. I like it.
Make sure that you hit her up. She does some amazing work. So any weddings, christenings and stuff like that. But generally, yeah, just keep an eye out for us, man. We're gonna keep trying to diversify the content for you. Yeah. We are a music-based podcast, obviously, so a lot of the topics that we discuss will always be underpinned by our common love for music, but we will dip into other
dip and dive.
Yeah,
dip, dive,
into other stuff. So make sure you like, share and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, also on everything: Facebook, Twitter, Insta, YouTube. Yeah, just drop us a line. Let us know what you think. Yeah,
feedback is greatly appreciated. And shouts to everyone that's obviously been using the hashtag as well. Yeah, Beats, Rhymes and Life Pod on Twitter and Facebook. But yeah, we're out for this week, guys. Peace.
Peace.